You're listening to the Raw Reaction on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Dude, a lot of things are up. I've been scouring the internet, and a lot of things are up lately.
I gotta tell you, Big Dick, it's about time we got on the same page and we got out of the woods, if you know what I'm saying. It's good to be here, baby.
I hear what you're saying, brother. I hear what you're saying.
You know what, man? I'm really excited. We're doing this show. We're lucky to do this on a Tuesday night. We were, because of some conflicts amongst our team, we couldn't be here Monday night. You know, we just heard some news from SmackDown, which just ended a couple minutes ago. We heard on SmackDown the Usos won the tag titles, and I think those belts, those blue belts, are very beautiful. But I don't know if they're the best looking belts in sports. Do you think they're the best looking belts in sports?
Yeah, you know, I do not think they're the best looking belts in sports.
If you had to pick your favorite tag belt, what would it be? But before you answer, I'd say mine was the yellow Intercontinental title. What would your favorite belt be, Big Dick?
I think my favorite belt right now is the Women's NXT Championship. It has a certain gleam to it. Yeah, I just can't put my finger on it.
It's a beautiful belt. But anyway, guys, we're glad to be here. There's crazy stuff going on in the industry. Raw was amazing. It was great. But I think we all know there's a lot of controversy out there. We're not going to go through all the details of all of it. But, you know, I got to throw it out there without getting into too much of it. I am very concerned for Paige's job, to be honest with you. And there's other people out there, but I really hope she doesn't get let go from the WWE, but who knows? I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling Paige will end up finding work somewhere. I mean, there's a lot of other openings where where opportunities could assert themselves. I mean, TNA is a valid option. Ring of Honor, the independent circuit.
Hold on, Nick, 1 second. Nick, hold on 1 second. Give me 10 seconds.
Okay.
10 seconds, please. Welcome to the Raw Reaction. With you is Angry Tensai and my main man, Big Dick. Dick, it's great to see you today. How you doing today, buddy?
Dude, I am doing good, man. I'm doing good. I am up and at 'em and ready to blow.
And let me just say, by restarting, I just saved Killer Kev a ton of editing today. Killer Kev is with us behind the glass. There's a lot going on in this world of wrestling this week. We're going to stick to Monday Night Raw, and we're going to get going. Big Dick, what'd you think of Raw this week?
Dude, I thought it was a solid episode leading up to it. I think we have most of WrestleMania set up right now, so I think it was a pretty good lead-in match, almost like 2 go-home shows in a row. But this one was a little bit more of a go-home show. I really liked a couple of the segments here.
Yeah, I was pleased to see the New Day were not kept off TV. We got to see the hosts of WrestleMania, that being Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, and a Big E Langston. They showed up. That was nice. Excited about that.
Not only did they show up, but they showed up with their ice cream car.
They did. Well, it's good to see they're on the same page, not like every other tag team that's out there. That you're seeing a lot of dissension in the ranks, but not with the New Day. They are on the same page. Great to see those guys.
Especially Xavier Woods. He really led that promo and did quite well in that. I thought he was the center of attention there.
You know, Xavier First is never a guy to be the first one in, but but he's always one to get the job done, if you know what I mean. You know, if I saw Xavier Woods, I'd take a picture of him. He's great. I'd probably kneel down.
He doesn't really start off well, but he knows how to finish.
Oh boy, I gotta tell you, man, it's good to hear from you, Big Dick. Mick Foley lost his job tonight.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed to hear that, but I'm actually probably a little bit more excited to hear his rumored replacement of the one and only future Hall of Famer, Kurt Angle.
Oh, really? I thought you were going to go a different direction with that. If Kurt Angle replaces Mick Foley. That would be amazing TV, and it would be just what the doctor ordered. Mick Foley's terrible, by the way, and Sami Zayn is equally as terrible. And I was glad to see Samoa Joe beat the crap out of him.
You know what, Tenso, I actually read on a dirt sheet that along with Kurt Angle, they're talking about bringing Brad Maddox for possible.
Now you're being within the GM lines. I thought Brad Maddox was one of the best GMs there was. Brad Maddox, who with Adam Rose was last seen in the Beef Mode tag team. Beef Mode, the greatest tag team to never happen. But hey, who knows? If Maddox gets his old GM job back, they could break up maybe another tag team and hook him up. I mean, maybe Brad Maddox with a Luke Gallows, maybe Brad Maddox with an Enzo Amore, maybe Brad Maddox with an Xavier Woods.
Wow, that's interesting. I never would have thought of that. I think him and Xavier Woods could really complement each other.
I think they're picture perfect together, to be honest with you, and I think they'd be on the same page.
Exactly. I mean, they're a hot tag team, and like I was saying before, I think Xavier Woods knows how to finish. I think Brad Maddox, he could be a closer too.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I would like to see. I mean, I think they need more. They would need a valet or something as a tag team, to help them keep it up.
Wait, are you thinking somebody?
Their work ethic.
Are you thinking somebody like Emmalina, or like a Victoria, or an active wrestler?
Yeah, I can see that.
Any ideas who could be a third in this tag team stable? Somebody who'd really complement them?
Somebody maybe that was of English descent. Oh,
William Regal.
Katie Lee Burchill. What was I thinking?
You know what? I think she could be great for that. I thought you were actually going to go with Wade Barrett.
Wade Barrett would be good, but I think Katie Lee Burchill would be great. But it is what it is. But guys,
a real scrapper, real fighter. Somebody can really take a shot or two in the face if they get in a mixed tag team match like Miz and Maurice.
Well, with these tag team matches at WrestleMania, we know Sheamus and Cesaro tonight were forced by Triple H to take on two tag teams at the same time. And it wasn't Xavier Woods and Brad Maddox. It was the tag teams of Enzo and Cass and the Bullet Club. And the club wound up getting into a fight with Enzo and Cass, and Cesaro and Sheamus kept their spot in the fatal three-way, whatever you want to call it. But what I thought was interesting is when Mick Foley was saying all of his goodbyes to all the people, he saw the tag team of Cesaro and Sheamus, and that's the first time I've seen Sheamus go full-fledged face, and I liked it. The crowd was into the fact that Sheamus showed Foley mad love.
Yeah, that was sort of interesting. I wasn't expecting that. He was usually relishes in his heel tendencies and his heel following by wrestlers. Maybe they are trying to turn him. I mean, he had a nice run as a face earlier in his career, and I don't know. I can see him being a face again. Who else?
They are a good tag team. Like, honestly, I like them two together. I guess Cesaro, I mean, no matter who you put him with, the tag teams are awesome. Kings of Wrestling, him and Tyson Kidd. He's just good. He's good. Like, even with Swagger, they were great.
Yeah, I should somewhere. We're talking about bringing Skiro up eventually, or bring Chris Skiro in eventually. And I know him and Sheamus had a tag team in the past. I think in Ring of Honor, but lots of options. I think Cesaro. I mean, I'd love to see him get a singles push, but
I don't know.
Yeah, they're unfortunately they're probably one of the top two tag teams in WWE right now.
For sure. I mean, they've definitely clicked. But in kayfabe, thanks to Mick Foley, that happened. But hey, Killer Kev, do you think Cassius Ohno will be brought up? And if he is, do you think they would ever put him and Cesaro together, or they just won't do that because it's a Ring of Honor thing?
I don't know if they will bring him up. I Right now, I can't see him putting them together, though. No reason, I just can't see it.
They seem to be pushing Ono pretty hard, though, on his way back. I mean, he's in the main stage. Like, he was not in that situation when he left.
No, he's not, but, I'm sure he learned from his experience, and I'm sure, WWE and NXT writers learned from that experience as well, and, figure out what they needed to retool to put him up there, and they really need somebody with a lot of experience sitting up at the top of the card as well. They could always use some more help up at the top.
Yeah, and he's fighting for the strap right now against Bobby Roode, but I think we all know if there's one title and one strap that means anything in NXT, it's the NXT Women's title. And I say that because not only is that a beautiful title with a special glimmer, the glimmer of the eye of that title is the undefeated Asuka, who has been a human wrecking ball being undefeated. And I know Victor is a big fan of that title as well.
Yes, that title, I mean, probably my personal favorite title that WWE has. The IC straps are pretty nice, but and the penny belts, they were classic, but I think the women's NXT championship, it has a certain lean to it.
That NXT women's title has always represented class. It's really the women's revolution started with that belt. You think about Charlotte, Sasha Banks, some of the people who held it. You think about Paige. I mean, you're talking the biggest and best names. Asuka, Bayley. Just saying.
Yeah. Paige had quite the run with that title.
She did. She definitely did. And
Asuka's in that same situation. I have to wonder if she's gonna carry it as proudly as Paige.
I think Asuka's holding it closer than she ever has, to be honest with you.
Wow. That's quite a bold statement about it.
Like you said, though, when you have a new GM, whether it be Kurt Angle or even a Brad Maddox, like you say, maybe they'll unify these belts. I mean, you could unify them. You could bring them together. So, I don't know. Just a thought.
Yeah, I almost feel like there are I think there's too many tag team belts, and I don't know. I think that there only needs to be one NXT champion between men and women.
I agree with that. And maybe it's beef mode. Maybe
Alberto.
Hey, listen. Get a picture of the belt. It won't be around forever. Just like the European title, the TV title in WCW. These things aren't around forever.
Yeah, they end up in trash cans or
Medusa. Oh yeah.
I mean, it could be. I mean, who knows what kind of debauchery these title belts could be for. I mean, they could steal title belt from the Ring of Honor with it, or some other knockoff shows.
Debauchery. Debauchery. Oh man! Speaking of debauchery, what segment? I know we talked about it earlier today when I was on the road. We talked a little bit about the Jericho segment. Were you able to view that online or anything?
I did not. I read it in detail, but it was a pretty good segment.
Kev, did you see the Jericho segment by chance?
No, I have not.
I would say to folks who want to see the brilliance of Chris Jericho on the mic, he did a segment essentially by himself for 10 minutes, and it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen, in which he outs Kevin Owens as a out-and-out, not best friend of Chris Jericho, but a fan of Chris Jericho. And a Jerichoholic. And he goes through all the proof points he has to show what an obsessed fan Kevin Owens is. He shows tweets from Kevin Owens. He also shows pictures of Kevin Owens when he's a kid in Jericho clothing, in Jericho poses. In his room, he's got the Jericho shirt on. And there's two posters on the wall. One, as Chris Jericho puts it, of an obscure blonde. And there's a picture of Chris Jericho putting someone in the Lion Tamer. Well, he says, hey, look at that picture on the right. There is an obscure, somewhat attractive blonde. And then that blonde on the picture of left, that's one sexy beast. The pop the crowd gave for that was unmatched. Unmatched. I was very, very, very excited about Jericho just ripping Owens apart for being an out-and-out Jerichoholic, which leads Samoa Joe to come out.
Now, hold on, Tensai, just for those who didn't watch this, in person, were there videos or just pictures released?
Well,
Jericho?
they were just pictures, but one thing I know about pictures, sometimes they lead to be videos a day after, depending on who shares them.
You know what? I can't imagine anybody being more embarrassed by leaked pictures than Kevin Owens right now.
Oh, they were leaked. Those pictures were leaked.
Having his little Fanboy Jericho T-shirt on and fanboy posters of Chris Jericho. I mean, I can't imagine anybody in WWE being more absolutely humiliated than that. I mean, I don't know how
Chris Owens was embarrassed by that photo leak, and it wasn't right for Jericho on Monday Night Raw to share all those pictures with all those people. Those were private pictures, and you don't do that. You don't share pictures that aren't private.
They were probably stolen by Chris Jericho. That's my guess. Which, I mean, I don't even think we should be commenting on them, to be honest with you. I don't know.
We won't.
Jay feel, but I don't think we should comment on his pictures that could very well have been stolen from Kevin Owens.
You know what? They should send him back to NXT. Let him go fight. You know what? For all I care, let him go fight for the NXT Women's title. I don't care. You know, or put him somewhere obscure. Let him tag up with Brad Maddox or Xavier Woods. I don't care. Doesn't mean anything to me. You know?
Yeah. One person I know I don't want involved in that feud is Alberto Del Rio if he ever comes back to WWE.
I love Alberto Del Rio. No one should say a bad word about Alberto Del Rio. He's loyal to a fault. Loyal to a fault. And his name is Alberto Del Rio. But Vic, you already know that.
I do.
But, yeah, so we got that. We got Jericho. He gets jumped because Samoa Joe just walks down the aisle. Kevin Owens jumps him behind and rips up the book of Jericho. Reprehensible. There was a women's segment. You want to hear something crazy? Nia Jax beats Bayley straight the F up. Just beats her with a Samoan drop. Gets herself in the fatal four-way now against Sasha Banks, Charlotte, and Bayley at at WrestleMania. I'm kind of mixed. I don't mind Nia Jax. I just think she slows this match down considerably. So, hell, man, what are you going to do? Bring back champions? I mean, I like that they're bringing in new blood. They could bring in champions in the past. They could bring in Caitlyn. They could bring in Paige. They could bring in Victoria. But no.
Dude, I think Paige is up for the job. We haven't seen her.
Melina. What's that?
I said we haven't seen Paige in a while. She's probably up for the job. She's a good one.
What about a Melina?
You know what, Melina, from what I hear, she's done some good work too. I don't know how she's been working out or how she's been training, but I know Paige, she should be fresh off her suspension pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many people. Or use someone from a different federation. Maria Kanellis. I don't know. You know?
Yeah. There's a lot of other options. I mean, I think that it was almost a story of, hey, you know what? We need to throw a bone to Nia Jax. She's been sort of our Braun Strowman. And with women, they don't get 10 matches at WrestleMania. They get one match or maybe two.
Well, they threw her a bone.
Yeah, exactly. They threw her a bone. I don't know why they couldn't do the same.
But they're like, think of the rub they're giving her in that. They're giving her the rub because I remember last year. Well, last year. What about last year? They gave the bone and the rub to Paige. They gave the bone and the rub to Paige, letting her tag up with AJ Lee in her last match. And I can't believe, that AJ Lee, isn't in the mix of this WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think, you know what, either her or Paige. I mean, I think Paige has come back from her or she's been suspended, but I think she's ready to get back on her feet.
They could have thrown her to the bone and not Nia. That's an interesting point.
Yeah,
because I think Paige could use the rub.
Nia is, like you said, she's going to slow the match down, whereas Paige is a lot more dynamic. Somebody like Paige is a lot more dynamic.
Well, if you put Paige in there now, and have her feud with, say, a Bayley, you could have the blow-off match next month. Just saying.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
But that's neither here nor there. But I do like that they're giving the bone to Nia. That's pretty cool. So, it is what it is. So, I think personally I don't. I see Sasha Banks turning heel and walking out with the belt at WrestleMania.
Wow, that's a interesting prediction. I just didn't like. I don't mind Nia Jax being in this, being added to this match. I would have liked to have seen her get in earlier. It felt like this is sort of like the WWE just like changed their mind. Or like, hey, you know what? Let's put her in too. I would have rather seen this developed a month ago or a couple weeks ago as opposed to this week. And it being, I would have rather seen Charlotte involved or something, cost, distract Bailey, and get her in that way.
Same here.
Or a straight up beat down.
Same here, man. I'm trying to think of what else happened. Hey, Killer Kev, do you think we can get the big guy Ryback on our network?
Maybe. Might have to do a little legwork.
I hope I'm not out of school here, but Ryback has his own podcast, and it is unbelievable. Him and this other guy he's friends with do a podcast, and all he does is rip apart everyone. And he talks about how he doesn't like anyone who's not positive, but literally all he does is cut down people all show. It is unbelievable, and how everybody's pussies and like doesn't wait left. It is the best show. He is something else, man. That dude, he has a pretty high opinion of himself. Let me just say that.
Hey, good for him, man. You know what?
We covered him last week. Like, guys, come on. I know you brought Goldberg back just to teach me a lesson. Like, come on. We all know that you're just bringing back Goldberg to fill the hole for Ryback. Like, what a fucking moron. Yes.
I can't wait till they get to Philadelphia next week and they have Ryback chants when Goldberg comes out. Ryback. Ryback.
You know what's funny? I could hear a chant during the women's match. And it sounded like they were saying something to the effect like, we want Sage or we want Rage. I couldn't figure out what they were saying.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be Rage Against the Machine fans. I mean, it was Brooklyn, New York, so there's a bunch of hipsters, so that could have very well been it. Sage, I'm not Sage Ellis, maybe from high school.
So, trying to think of what else happened. Foley got fired. Stephanie McMahon didn't give a shit. That was great. I mean that was just, he's been terrible, man. I loved how Triple H on the way out looked at Foley like he's a complete piece of shit. I really like the disdain the Triple H character has for the Foley character. I very much appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, Foley was cool for like just a couple months. Then it just got sort of repetitive and bullshit.
He's gone. We're not going to see him again.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully they bring in a new GM. I mean,
Caitlyn?
Dude, you know what? Caitlyn has some good qualities. I think she could be a good fit there. I was thinking more of somebody a little more distinguished, like a Kurt Angle.
I like my Caitlyn sexy thick with a little bit of chub. I don't like this super jacked Caitlyn.
You really think so?
What?
You don't like that?
I mean, she's still crazy hot, but I don't like her so jacked.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if she looks like she has bigger guns than you, that's sort of a little worrisome.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just my thing.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to see a Foley or what is Brad Maddox doing these days? He's in the independent circuit.
I heard he was doing some photography, like
really?
Like part-time photography. Yeah.
Photography or just like flash photography.
Yeah, just like flash stuff, you know.
Okay. On the independent circuit.
Yeah. I mean, not a lot of people have seen it, but they will soon.
More behind the scenes stuff.
Behind the scenes.
Okay. All right. Interesting. But yeah, I mean, he was always a good character. He always came across as a pretty straight shooter. Yeah, I think that Kurt Angle or Brad Maddox should probably get the job done.
Maddox. I'm trying to think of what else. What else we have?
Everybody hates Roman Reigns still.
Oh man, good point. When they had the Strowman versus Roman Reigns match tonight, oh my goodness. When Strowman gave that little speech, he's like, let me tell you something. I'm going to steamroll Roman Reigns tonight. The crowd went freaking crazy, and what a pop Strowman got.
Yeah, they're inadvertently turning Strowman into a face with his feud with Roman Reigns.
I mean, Strowman's a wrecking machine, man. I hate to say it, and I said it a couple weeks ago. You know, I said I felt weird turning around, but I mean, it was right when he had that Big Show match. I mean, he has not looked back since. Strowman's been on fire. He should have never lost to Roman Reigns, and the wrong guy is fighting Undertaker, who literally cost the match for Reigns because he got disqualified, choke slamming Strowman. But I think it should be Undertaker and Strowman, to be honest with you.
Yeah. You know what? I would have said that 2 months ago. Or even if they put all three of them together. Like, I was sort of hoping that last night when all three of them were in the ring together, I was hoping that Strowman would have just keep shot at the Undertaker from behind and beat him down. And got added. Because basically Strowman's looked like a punk the last 2 times Taker's been there. He had chokeslam this time and basically ran away and walked out of the ring.
Caitlyn. You know what I mean?
I know. He's quite a performer.
Yeah. I mean, what else happened? Anything else I'm missing? I had to be. I must be missing something.
Cruiserweight's got a fight.
Who'd they wrestle?
T.J. Perkins and what's his name? The guy who picked him up when T.J. Perkins was like 13 and he was like 25.
The Brian Kendrick.
Yeah, the man with a plan.
I'm the man with a plan.
Yeah, he won, and he actually. I guess this is the feud. It'd be pretty funny if it really happened. But I guess this new storyline is the one cruiserweight. He's from Japan, and he's sort of been feuding with Kendrick. And Kendrick was saying that he's out of the country right now, and Kendrick has his passport. You'd actually be pretty fucked if that happened to you. So I thought it was pretty funny. The fact that I have a feeling that wasn't really his passport.
I'm the man with a plan.
Okay, I can see. You know what? Maybe on 205 Live, they have a passport on a pole match.
That's an idea.
I mean, it's no Judy Bagwell on a pole, or the Women's NXT Championship.
No, that would be interesting.
I think it would be quite interesting. I think there could be a real eye-opening experience.
Lesnar Goldberg was hyped up tonight, but not much more.
What's the last match on the pay-per-view?
Goldberg.
All right. These will last more than 10 minutes.
Goldberg.
Those will last more than 10 minutes.
It lasts about 7 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay. I can see it happening. Who wins?
I could see a Goldberg winning. I know people don't think it's going to happen. I think you will.
Okay. Interesting.
New Day rocks.
They do. That was a good segment there. I mean, there was a lot of gyrating, a lot of talking. It really took a shine to Xavier Woods in his promo. He seemed to hold it all together and to lead the show. He definitely finished. He started out a little passive, but he ended up finishing job strong.
I like that about him. I do.
Yeah. Myself as well. I don't like the fact that the sort of New Day, I don't think they've had a tag team match in probably about a month and a half. I don't know if they're pursuing other future endeavors or what the heck they're doing, but I mean, I know Xavier Woods has a lot of extracurricular activities. I mean, he has I think he has a video game blog called Up Down Down, which he videotapes and plays on a fairly regular basis. Pretty popular show. I Googled it last night. I'd never seen it before. I actually saw an episode where they had Paige on it, and I thought it was a pretty entertaining video of him and Paige on his blog. His blog for that Up Down Down video gaming blog.
I'm looking at all the results. There's 2 other matches we didn't talk about. Austin Aries versus Tony Nese. Austin Aries is awesome, and he's going to kick Neville's ass at WrestleMania.
You know what? I don't know what it was, but I watched this match, and I didn't feel great about Austin Aries. Like, he
Well,
didn't have a
Tony
crowd.
Nese is a tough style.
What's that?
Tony Nese is a tougher style.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. I mean, don't get me wrong. He has a good arsenal, but it just didn't seem like he had like the crowd behind him, and like as much as I would have thought based on his promos and what they're sort of leading into.
I would have done the same thing. How about Triple H and Seth Rollins?
Dude, hold harmless agreement. Interesting, man.
I don't know if Seth is going to sign it, but very interesting.
You know what the funny thing is? I have a feeling that this entire Seth Rollins leg injury, which people like all freaked out about, was a complete work to build this match up. Like, think about it, because people are like, "Oh man, he's supposed to be out for 2 months," and then he comes back in like a month, and like, "Oh, that's awesome." It's like, what if he just got some time off of wrestling and rehabbed his leg like he had an injury, or took some video of him rehabbing his leg? I know WWE has some good editors there, has some good storytelling there, so that wouldn't have surprised me either.
Well, I mean, that was really the whole card, Vic. I mean, that was it.
Next week, we do have a contract signing between Triple H and Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
If Seth Rollins chooses to accept. And we also have a face-to-face confrontation between Brock Lesnar and William J. Goldberg.
Well, it should be good, for sure.
It should be interesting. And I'm looking forward to it a lot. I feel like they could probably debut about 6 or 7 wrestlers the Monday night after WrestleMania, but I know they won't do it. I mean, you think about Rude, Shinsei Nakamura, Asuka, Revival, even DIY or DIY. I mean, I think that all those wrestlers could make it up to the mainstream, and that's not going to include guys like I heard that like the Drifter might be coming up soon too. So a lot of talent down there waiting to be brought up. So it should be interesting what comes of that.
Well, I'll be watching, that's for sure. But that's about it tonight, Big Dick. Kev, anything you want to plug?
Nope, I don't have anything to plug this week.
Vic, anything you want to plug?
Yes, but we'll talk about it after we get off the air.
Okay, well, that's fair. Okay. That's it. That's everything, folks. And we'll be back next week with a lot more. And hopefully we'll be a little more direct when we talk about our dirt, so to speak.